Hey, this is Julia and this is the first official proper video for how to beat your depression, where I'm actually going to go through all of the actual tricks and tips that I use daily to kind of keep myself on an even keel. Now, for those of you who've come from the pep talk video, I'm glad that you watched it. I'm glad that it didn't kind of scare you off from the process. I'm not going to swear quite as much now. It's going to be a lot more kind of easy to digest. I really wanted that first video to sort of be a kind of metaphorical kind of kick in the pants, so that if you didn't have the energy to go forward, that maybe it might sort of inspire you to do so. The rest of the videos won't be quite as sweary as that and are just going to be a bit more practical rather than shouty. So thanks for making it all the way through the pep talk. I'm glad that you're still here. So again, before I kick off, if this is your first time kind of watching any of these tapes, you can tell I've been listening to 13 Reasons Why tapes. But I want to start off again, just with a caveat of, if you are feeling suicidal, if you are having suicidal thoughts, if you literally cannot get out of bed or function at all, now is not the time to do these videos. You need to get yourself some professional help. For the time being, get yourself on an even keel and then come back to these videos, and I'm going to be able to help you to manage it better, so that you're going to have stuff in place that will help it from, will not only stop it from coming back so frequently, but also when it does come back, and let's be honest, it will at some point, you will be ready and you'll be prepared for it, and you'll have things in place to stop it getting too bad and getting worse. So that I promise you. But if you are at that stage, please promise me you'll go and get some professional help right now and then come back to this later. So you've made the choice. You've decided to go on this journey with these videos, so kudos and massive props to you. It's a tough decision to make, and it is a little bit terrifying to do it. So I really do, I've got a lot of respect for you for coming this far, and I promise if you listen to these videos, you won't regret, because you actually implement these things, you will feel better. There's no doubt in my mind that you will feel better. The fact that you've chosen to kind of go on this journey shows that you're a fighter. It shows that there's like a spark of fire within you that doesn't want to let this bastard beat you, that you want to have a better existence, you want to have a better life, and hold on to that. Use that fire, feel it in the pit of your stomach, and use the power that it has within you. Know that you're a fighter, know that you're a survivor, and know that you can get through this, and use that power to implement these changes, so that then you will be stronger, you will be better equipped to deal with this, and you will be fucking unstoppable. In this video, I want to talk about the 2 things that will make the biggest overall difference to your depression. First of all, drinking, smoking, doing drugs. I know it sounds thoroughly obvious, but it's just going to make it a million times worse. Serotonin is a finite resource, right? That happy drug that you have within you. There is only so much of it. If you drink, if you do drugs, all you're doing is borrowing from tomorrow's serotonin. You're borrowing happy from tomorrow. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I've been there, where you have one beer and then you have another beer and then you have another beer and you feel bloody fantastic and like on top of the world. And because you've been feeling so damn shit for so long, it's almost impossible to stop yourself going down that route of just one more beer, just one more drink. But the next day, you just feel so much worse. And it's only 20 times worse that if you do recreational drugs. You're just decimating your system inside. Like, your body is trying to fight this thing and to keep its head above water, and you are literally knocking your legs from underneath you. You're taking away the body's power and resilience to fight this. You're making yourself weaker by doing these things. And it's hard, especially if it's like, you know, something that you and your friends do together, and it can be really hard to say no and to not kind of get involved in that, especially if it's part of your social life. But there comes a time where you have to realize what your situation is. And as a depression sufferer, you can't just be going out and boshing like a load of MDMA on the weekends and thinking that it's going to be fine next week. It's not. If you had something physically wrong with you, like, I don't know, you've got something wrong with your heart, okay, and it makes you, you know, you've got a thinning of like one of the arteries or something like that, makes you more susceptible to having a heart attack. Would you really go out, bosh a load of pills and do a load of poppers? You'd be so fucking stupid to do that, because you're basically just giving yourself miniature heart attacks upon heart attacks, which makes you more likely to have a heart attack. You'd be a bit stupid to do that, right? Or if there's something wrong with your legs, jumping off really high things, probably not the best. I mean, yeah, well, your mate's doing it and that's really fun, but you'd be like, hey, I've got this bad leg, maybe I'm not going to jump off that really high thing, because if my hip messes up, I won't be able to walk. Why don't we think the same way about mental health? Like, you know you're susceptible to having problems in that department, and you know that, you know, smoking and drinking and doing things like this makes it worse, and yet we still do it. We still do it. The problem is with feeling shit all the time, you want something that's going to make you feel better. And what makes you feel better other than kind of drinking and drugs? Immediately, oh my God, I felt terrible before and now I feel great. For now, you know, until the next day, until you're going to feel so much worse. And it just goes round and round in a circle then. And then you feel terrible the next day. So you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll have another beer, or maybe I'll smoke a joint, or maybe I'll do this. You're just going to go around in circles and you're never going to get past it. I'm not saying don't ever have a beer again, because the humanity, beer is lovely. But you need to, while you're kind of going on this journey, start off with something small. Start off by like cutting it down, trying to do less, trying to smoke less cigarettes, anything that's going to make you feel terrible afterwards. Just try and remove it from your life. And that's very difficult to do, and it's very easy for me to say, and I appreciate that. And cutting things off cold turkey is very hard. Just try and cut down to start with. Don't try and do too much too soon. Understand that you're in a kind of weakened state. Try and cut it down and slowly try and eke it out of your life. That's the best advice I can give you, is just to do it little by little. Saying that, I am a very kind of all or nothing kind of person. I find, like, when I quit smoking and when I quit all these different things, I just went like cold turkey and was just like, right, I'm not doing it anymore. And that works for me, but I appreciate it's not what works for everyone. So you need to be aware of what is going to work for you, and then try and work that into your life, because there's not kind of a whole umbrella, everyone just do it this way, because you need to find the way that's right for you. The cutting out drinking and smoking and cigarettes is always a good idea, but how you do it is what you need to think about. Now, I think hands down, honestly, one of the best things I ever did for combating my depression and keeping it at bay was, and it's no real surprise here, is exercise. I know it's literally the last thing anybody wants to do. Since I started exercising regularly about 5 years ago, I've been on such an even keel with my depression. I can't even tell you. It made the biggest absolute difference in my life, more than anything else I've ever done for it. You know, it's really difficult because exercising is the last goddamn fucking thing you want to do, but it will change your life. Honestly, trust me. You want to be happy, you want to be able to live your life without feeling terrible and awful, exercise. I can't explain it enough. What you need to get to is a point where your brain knows that exercise is going to make you feel better. Like, you know, in the same way when you feel really shitty and you have a beer or like a glass of wine or whatever in your hand, and your brain knows, even before you start drinking it, it knows that if you drink this, you're going to feel better. And that's almost part of the draw. You just sort of feel like, oh, I know if I just have this, I'm going to feel that little bit better. I just, you know, it knows before you do it. And what you need to do is get to a point with exercise where your brain knows that about exercise. Okay, stick with me. It is possible. What you need to do is create a habit. And we all know that, like, it takes over like 21 days to create a habit. And I never really used to exercise at all. And I thought to myself, as I'm a kind of all in, all out kind of a person, I thought, I need something that I'm going to do, I don't know, every day for a month. I need to create this habit of creating exercise so that my body understands that when I exercise, I feel better in the same way I think that if I have a beer, I'm going to feel better. I need to do it every day. I need to show my body and my brain that this is what happens, you know. People talk about endorphin rushes and stuff like that all the time. If I'm going to get addicted to something, let it be something that's going to help me long term, you know, or make my depression better. So, okay, here's my top advice. Now, as I said, this is not going to work for everyone. This is simply what I did and how I got into it. And then it's got me now to the point where I feel crappy if I don't work out. And I know that I feel crappy, so I work out. And that's more than I could ever hope for. I never thought I'd be one of these like gym people or someone who works out nearly every day. Those losers, what the hell are they doing? I'm addicted to it because it's the best thing I've ever done for my depression. So how I did it was I bought a DVD. Yes, it was a long time ago. I got a DVD by a woman called Gillian Michaels. It's called The 30-Day Shred. You can find it online. I'm sure you can probably find some of it on YouTube. If you do want a DVD, you can go to Amazon. It's like no money at all, like £2 or something. Why I chose to do that was because, and I'm sure you're similar, when you feel depressed, especially if you're starting to do something new, the last thing I ever want is to be around people. God damn them, they're everywhere. And they look at you, judge you with their eyes, you know. I wanted to have control over the environment where I was doing this. I was like, I've got so much that's unstable in my head. I need something that I can have complete control over, and doing a DVD every day or whatever, I can control that. I can control the environment. I know I'm not going to be disturbed. I can, you know, I felt like I needed to take that little bit of power back to feel comfortable. So this DVD is called The 30-Day Shred, and all it is a 20-minute a day commitment to 30 days of working out. Now, honestly, you can find 20 minutes every single day. And there was something about saying, okay, I'm just going to do this for 30 days. 30 days, that's all I'm promising myself, and I'm going to see how I feel at the end of this. It's not a huge commitment. It's still a commitment. I appreciate that. But it is 20 minutes. And the way it's kind of laid out, it's in these kind of little circuits, and they're quite, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. You're not spending too long doing any kind of one thing. It has 3 different levels as well. So like after about 10 days, you're like, I'm gonna try level 2. And the video gamer within me likes the fact that I'm progressing to level 2. And then when I got to level 3, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm at level 3. Oh my God, I'm the best. Yeah, okay. But you know what? As sad as it sounds, you need to take whatever little thing gives you any amount of energy or desire to continue or do better, and bloody hold on to it with 2 hands, because quite honestly, we need all the help we can get. So if I'm going to get really excited about getting to level 2, I will embrace that and be really loud about it, because you know what? It bloody helps me, and it helped me get me through all this 30 days, right? It's 20 minutes a day for 30 days. Anyone can commit to that. So after completing the 30-day shred, you know, 20 minutes a day, 30 days, I got to the end of it and obviously was like, woo, I finished, and then stopped. And then suddenly noticed just how different I felt when I wasn't working out. And it was so obvious that I carried on working out, and I just kept working out and have been working out for like a number of years now. And before that, I used to have things where I'd go to the gym for a couple of months and I'd kind of get quite into it, and then I'd get bored. But I found out, like with doing DVDs and working out at home and finding stuff that I liked and creating almost effectively like a sort of like workout playlist that I switch between and switch around, I've stuck at it. I still do it, and this is years and years later. The gym I always kind of fell in and out of love with, but this, because it's controlled, because I can get up first thing in the morning and do it before I do anything else, and then it's done, and then I feel great during the day. And even if I switch it around and then do it in the evening, like I hate how I feel during the day without having exercise first thing in the morning. Now I appreciate, you know, working at home isn't practical for everybody. A lot of people don't have space. A lot of these DVDs don't really need like a lot of space, but you know, sometimes it's better to go to the gym. Maybe you want to kind of go outside, or maybe it's just a case of just going for like a long walk in the morning. Like start off with something really, really small. There are some really, really great apps out there where they will effectively just kind of time you, and you walk for a bit, and then it will tell you to jog for 30 seconds, and then you walk for a bit and you jog for a bit. And anything that's going to get you outside the house is even better sometimes than working out at home, because it really kind of wakes you up to the world. Plus you're going to be getting some exercise, and you know, going outside your house is always a better idea to staying in, especially when you're depressed. You know, getting out, I don't know, maybe going to like a yoga class or kite surfing, like whatever kind of floats your boat. Find something that's gonna inspire you to get dressed and go out the door, like something you've always wanted to try. I don't know, jiu-jitsu, like whatever it is, right? It doesn't really matter as long as you're exercising regularly. I exercise about 5 times a week, which seems like a lot. It is a little bit of a lot, but I like to have it on the days that I'm working because it keeps me on an even keel and means that I stay quite positive and quite happy during the day. And that's all I ever really wanted, was just to sort of feel normal. And exercise makes me feel normal now. It got me thinking a lot about our bodies and how they're supposed to work. And if you think about how a machine is supposed to run, and it needs, I don't know, it needs oil, it needs electricity, it needs what, it has a series of things that it needs to be running perfectly fine. And our bodies are the same, like the kind of inert, sober, with exercisey state is how we're supposed to be. And having that and feeling that, you kind of understand this is how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to have exercise. We're supposed to not get completely fucking trashed all the time. You know, this is how we're supposed to exist. And when you do it, suddenly everything else just kind of falls into place a lot better. As I said, I'm not advocating, you know, let's go clean eating and just eat asparagus for the rest of our lives and never have a glass of wine, because life is for living. Life is very, very short, and you should always be able and allowed to do things that make you truly happy, and having a glass of wine with some friends makes a lot of people happy. But I think there's a difference between that and the other kind of drinking, when you really feel like you need it, or when you can't do without it. That's a very, very different thing. Coming home and feeling like you absolutely have to have it, or you just can't cope. That's when you know it's different, and you can sense that it's different. One of the other things I would say is I'm quite lucky in that I work from home quite a lot, and I can kind of fit, you know, working out in the morning sometimes. I think it's possible that everyone can, but sometimes some people's mornings are a little bit more stressful and there's kind of more stuff to do, or if you've got kids, it's like, it makes it a bit difficult, you know, they're gonna be coming in and out while you're trying to do it. The other thing that you can do is try and work exercise into your morning routine. And I don't mean actually in the morning in the house, but like how you get to work. I appreciate that's not appropriate for everyone, but if you can learn to cycle to work, you never need to exercise doing anything else ever again. You just literally cycle to work, and like the first week you do it, it's a bit of pain, but then it just becomes how you go to work, and then all of a sudden you don't have to do any exercise the rest of anything really, because you know you've got your exercise there, you've got what you need out of it. Or maybe you walk to work, maybe you jog to work. There's lots of ways to kind of work it into the structure of your day, where pretty soon, once you kind of implemented the system, you pretty much forget about it. And then, like I say, you don't have to think about exercising the rest of the time, which is great. Your homework for this week is to try and find a way of exercising that you can start to bring into your life. Whether that's kind of running, walking, cycling, maybe you just want to start like once a week or like a couple of times a week. Your homework is to find something, even if it's just a case of just trying a few different things and seeing how you feel and seeing what works. But you need to try to find the right thing for you. I swear to you, it will not be a waste of time. It will make you feel so much better. There are scientific studies that prove that exercise can help combat depression. Like, time and time again, it's been proved, it's been proved. And if you're kind of sick of feeling sick and you're sick of feeling low and awful, think about the easiest way you can start getting some exercise into your life. It will not be wasted time. Honestly, it will change your life. It will change how you feel. It will make it better. It really, honestly will. And I know it's difficult, and I know it's hard to get out of bed sometimes, but if you can just push yourself to try and do it for 30 days. 30 days would be, I'll be so proud of it. Like 30 days commitment to doing some kind of exercise every single day would be incredible. But like I say, everyone who's like watching this is at different stages and where they are and what they're capable of. I can't tell you what's exactly right for you. Do your best. Try your best, because that's all that really matters in life, is that you can do what is best for you at that time. Even if it's only 2 days a week, just try it. Honestly, you will feel so much better. Over the course of like all of these videos, it's all about kind of implementing these little incremental changes. It will all kind of build upon itself, and slowly you're going to start to kind of pick up momentum and pick up pace. And before you know it, exercise is going to be part of your life, and honestly, it's going to make a huge difference. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this first video helped. I've got loads more kind of like hints and advice and stuff to come out over the coming weeks, so do stick with it. Please try and do the homework. Try and think of something to get exercise into your life, and I'll see you next week.